Welcome to Monster Monday. So before we get into the review here, I am going to open up a ginormous freaking gift that I got from Edward Cummins. He sent this to me to my post office box, which for some reason they shut down even though I paid the bill, and I still don't know what the fuck happened there. So they sent it back to him, and then they sent it, he had to send it back to me. So I hope he didn't have to pay twice, because I see that there's a $25 shipping tag here, and I feel like a total asshole. And my mic clip broke. So I'm just like, my mic's just hanging here. It's just hanging here. It's probably fucking falling. And I don't even know what the hell's going on with my life. So yeah. He, $25 fucking dollars, man. You gotta look how big this thing is. It's fucking heavy too. I have no idea, obviously, what is in here. Oh, I love this shit, man. I love when I get presents. It's probably getting muted. This is probably getting muted. I need to like pull this thing really out. I tried to super glue it. I tried to super glue the clip onto it, and there's a little screw. The thing's been screwing up forever. Pun intended, I guess. And I tried to put some super glue and then put it on there and screw it in so that it would just stay screwed in. And no, the fucking thing got like all backed up with the glue, and it wouldn't take. So now the thing's fucked. And I don't know what to do. So I'm guessing either I'm gonna have to rig something or it's time to get a new mic. I wouldn't mind getting a new mic anyway, so maybe it'll just be a blessing in disguise and I can have a new mic for my channel. Anyway, I'm excited about this damn thing. Let's get into this. And I have no idea. He told me that this thing, that I'm one of the only people that would appreciate it, I think is what he said, and that this entire, like, what's inside takes up this entire package. So I think it's only one thing, and it's big. So here we go. Before we get into the review, which I'm actually going to do after my podcast. So if you wonder why it looks later, it's because it's probably like 3 hours later. Okay, let's, I don't want to break anything here. Is this all one thing? Is this all one thing? Oh, it's a jacket, I think, right? Ha! I already know what this is. Oh my goodness. This, as you can see here, I know exactly what this is supposed to be and why he sent it to me. That's fucking hilarious. If for some reason you have no idea what this is even in reference to, this is because of my love for Slumber Party Massacre 2. That is hilarious that this is the gift. It's so heavy, and that's why he didn't want me to cut into it, because I could cut into the damn thing. There's no way this would fit me, from what I can tell. Maybe large? Oh, Jesus. Now I'm going to have to, like, fucking model the thing, I guess.
I got a penthouse at the Ritz. I bought it with my hits. I don't know what that noise was. I'm fucking excited right now. That's about as geeky as I'm fucking willing to get. Holy shit, look at this thing. This is hilarious, man. I gotta insert the music over this. Anybody know Let's Buzz? That song is fucking hilarious. This movie's ridiculous. This jacket is fucking amazing. Thank you so much. Oh my God, this is fucking great. I actually went and I looked at the video. I looked at the footage, I looked at everything, and this jacket is spot on. Exactly the fucking one in the movie. It's insane. It looks exactly the same. And now I'm gonna have to record the review in this fucking thing. Oh my goodness. This is great, man. Thank you so much for this. Obviously, I gotta adjust the camera, but don't go all the way. I'm gonna fucking audition, man. I'm gonna remake Slumber Party Massacre 2 now that I have this thing. This is great, man. Thank you so fucking much.
All right, people. Let's buzz. All right, so let's get into Lucille Fulci's The Beyond. which I'm gonna do in this fucking ridiculously awesome jacket here. So this is a fan favorite of mine. I have this fucking movie poster framed on my wall. It is my favorite Fulci film. Big fan of Fulci. Own a good amount of his stuff on Blu-ray right here. Got Touch of Death, Lizard and Woman's Skin. We actually covered one of his films on the podcast. This has got City of the Living Dead, House by the Cemetery, and The New York Ripper, Don't Torture a Duckling. I have the beautiful Blu-ray of The Beyond, but I left it upstairs, so you do not get to see it. So this film starts in 1927 with some like sepia tone or however the fuck you say that, to make it look like it's old. And we find out that this hotel was built over one of the 7 doors to hell, and only he can protect them from this evil, but then they kill him, I guess in an attempt to stop it, but of course that then sets it off. But I don't think that they really, I don't know what happens with them. I don't know. They have to die down there and come back forever. I don't know. But then we cut to 1981. Yeah, 1981. And oh man, the lashings they give that guy back in the 1927 thing, the lashing when they're ripping his stuff off. This is gore, people. Okay, when I fucking am talking these other movies with people and they're like, oh man, it was so gory and this and that, and I watch it and there's like 2 sequences of a teeny amount of gore and I'm like, there's no fucking gore in this movie. These are like, this is gore to me. This movie is fucking gory. This is what I love. This is the gore hound in me. This is the kind of gore I enjoy. This is fucking great. And this movie has such an atmospheric presence to it the entire film. It's so off-kiltered and so oddball. And that's just Italian cinema in general, but that's also Fulci. And it's something about this film specifically that just feels so odd the entire time. And I just love the feeling of this film. Like, I can't think of many other films that feel all that much like this, and all of them are either Fulci or Italian cinema, so they kind of have their own feel to them, an entire subgenre of horror. And it's hard to look down in this thing. Like, this thing keeps hitting me in the chin, and I'm telling you, man, you couldn't kill nobody in this thing. You fucking can barely move your damn arms. It's ridiculous. So this painter who's in the up on the scaffolding sees the blind chick in the house and gets so scared that he falls like 10 feet, and somehow this makes him cough up blood, and he's it would have made more sense if he landed on something and it stabbed him. But then the doctor comes and he's like, I'm not able to treat his wounds or like patch his wounds or whatever. I'm like, what wounds? He fell. Like, did I miss something there? And the fall just did not seem that bad to me. I don't know. And then the plumber goes downstairs, and I guess he disturbs the gateway there, and that's what ultimately lets these guys come back out, or maybe just the disturbance at all is what set the blind girl free. And oh man, the freaking hand comes through the wall at this is Fulci, so you're gonna see a lot of eyeball stuff, and I think this has the most eyeball gags on any of Fulci's films. But the hand comes out and grabs, and it pulls his eyeball from here out the side. It rips the skin out, and it comes out the whole side of his face, and he rips the whole eyeball out. Fucking amazing. I don't care how fake it looks. I love this kind of gore. It's just so over the top and gratuitous, and I just adore it. Then the main chick here, she's driving, and Emily, the blind girl, she's just standing right in the middle of a bridge with a dog, and she just was like, are you looking? And she's like, I was looking for, and it's like a blind girl was walking down a bridge looking for her, but she was just in the house a minute ago, so not really sure how she got out on the bridge and where this girl was even going, and I don't know. None of that really makes any sense to me. This film is fairly confusing in that way. But then, yeah, so she takes her home, and there's people who die in her hotel, and that doesn't seem to be that big of an issue, that the plumber was maimed and murdered in her basement. And other people have died, but whatever. So they take him into the morgue, and for some reason the mortician there, or whatever the morgue is, whatever the hell this guy is, he wants to hook up an oscilloscope, a brain wave monitor, to a body that's been dead for like 6 years in a basement to see if it has brain waves. I can assure you it doesn't. Why you're hooking up that machine to a corpse that's been dead for 6 fucking years and is rotting like that, I don't get it. Maybe the one that's just recently dead, but I'm not exactly sure what he was trying to pull off there. But yeah, then they leave that, and this girl comes in to fix up the face, and she screams and then is just knocked out, and her daughter walks in, and oh man, is this a rad scene. There's like an acid of some sort that falls down onto her face, and we just see for like a good 2 minutes this acid dissolving this woman's face as her daughter is screaming and trying to back away, or not even screaming, but like scared, backing away from the acid, blood acid that is like creeping towards her feet. And we even get to see that little girl's death later in the movie when a gunshot completely blows her whole face off. This movie's, that's, I don't know. I guess maybe the reason I love this film is not, you know, the atmosphere is great. Yeah. The feel of the film is great. Yeah. But I just love the gore. I mean, I'm usually a person that's like, you know, if the movie's just gore and that's all there is to it, it's not all that wonderful to me. But for some reason, the gratuitous amounts of it and the eccentric feel of this film, just, I don't know. I guess it gets to, I don't have a problem with it like I do these other films. I don't know. But there's other films that I like that just have gore as well. But I don't know. I guess I just don't like, shock films all that much. They're just boring to me. I don't really find them all that interesting, and the gore in those usually is lame anyways. The gore in this is incredible. So maybe if the gore was like this, I would like them. Anyway. Yeah, we find out that she inherited the hotel. I wrote down that for some reason. It's not really all that interesting. The blind eyes in this are fucking crazy looking. I know they're just contact lenses and whatnot, but I love the look of them. I don't know how this hotel supposedly has 36 rooms. How is this? This place is like the size of a 3-bedroom house. Supposedly it has at least 36 bedrooms. Sure, why not? And we find out that Emily actually isn't there because she's coming back. And this movie's super confusing. You can't even start to figure it out when it comes to all that stuff. I was trying to pay attention. I was like, I don't know. I love how the main girl here, she's talking to the designer for her remodel. And she's like, just do whatever, you know, essentially she's just like, I want you to remodel my house for free. Or my hotel, whatever. She's like, as long as it doesn't cost any money. And I'm like, yeah, remodel. They're fucking pulling everything out of there. She has to put in beds and couches and you know, paint. Yes, she probably already paid for all of that. But she kind of says she doesn't have any money. She inherited this and that's it. If she doesn't have this, she's screwed. And she's like, I have no money. And I'm like, how you doing a remodel without any money? I guess she financed it up front, and he had all of her money, and it was like, if you want more money than I already gave you, then I don't know what else to tell you here. This guy falls from a ladder. I guess falls in Italy are much worse than in America, because if you fall 10 feet in America, you're fine. In Italy, I guess you're knocked out or near death. And the spiders in this movie make so much noise They're like creeping and crawling, and fucking they're like growling. It's like the shark in Jaws the Revenge. This thing's fucking like growling as it's jumping out of the water. And then the guy just sits there. He's fully awake, and he sits there as the spiders rip apart his lips, his tongue, his nose, rip his nose apart, rip his eyeball out. It's like pulling on the eyeballs. It's like ripping his face apart. And he's just sitting there. He doesn't scream. He doesn't move. I'm not really exactly sure what that is. I guess he's paralyzed. Is that what it is? He falls and he breaks his neck, and he's sitting there paralyzed. I'll go with that. And the chick, she doesn't want to go back to hell. Who the hell would? And so she sicks the dog on it, on these guys, and it's ripping it apart. And then the dog comes back to her, and you think everything's okay. And then the dog rips her throat out and then rips her ear off. That's one of the greatest dog attack sequences in a film. Like, fuck Cujo, man. This was vicious. That's what Cujo should have been. That should have been ripping throats out like this. Oh my God, he completely tears the entire throat out from this chick and then tears her full ear off of her head, and we get to see it all in its full glorious detail there, and it's just awesome. Minor technical difficulty there. Man, wearing this jacket and having a mic that's broken is not all that fun. Anyway, so the doctor in this reminded me of Jack Nicholson. I thought he looked so much like old, young Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson from old movies like The Terror or something. He looked a lot like Nicholson to me. Then we have a doctor who takes a bunch of shrapnel, like glass, in the face here. The music in this movie is fucking awesome. Yes, it's repetitive because they kind of play the same theme over and over, but for some reason it just works for me and I love it. Then there's this whole hospital filled with zombies, and this guy's just shooting ones right and left, and squibs are blowing off right and left. And then you got that young girl who comes at her and her whole face just explodes. You got the doctor, I said, who takes the glass into the face. And then, they try to use the elevator to get out of the hospital, and it goes down, and they're transported to the hotel, down into the basement, and then they get sucked into the painting of what I guess that guy was depicting as hell, and then they try to like walk in and out of it, and in each way they go is just puts them right back into that exact same place. It reminds me of The Heavenly Kid. I've mentioned this before, but on a previous review, I think it was my Slasher Sunday. No, it was something else, but it reminded me of that. And for some reason, the corpses' dicks are covered when they're laying down there. I don't know, that was weird for an Italian film, you would think. And I also don't understand why they blinded them. Like, wouldn't they want them to see the atrocities and the horror of hell? I mean, that's the whole point of it, no? I don't know. But, man, I love this flick. There isn't a ton to talk about because there's not really much plot. The plot is so fucking thin, and what is there is so confusing. I don't really get it. But it's just the feel of the film. I've mentioned this enough. I don't want to be redundant and whatnot, but the gore. This is what you watch this film for. The score, the gore, and the overall feel of the film. It's just haunting, it's chilling, and it's unsettling. And I love that about these films. Unfortunately, as I said, there's not a ton to talk about outside of the gore. Plot-wise, it's non-existent. It's just a woman inherits a hotel, and there's a woman who's escaped from hell, and she doesn't want to go back. And they get trapped in hell. The end. I mean, there's really nothing to it. It is very simplistic, but it's still confusing somehow because nothing really makes any sense. I'm like, wait, how does this happen if this happened and what? I don't get it, but the gore is fucking amazing. The characters look cool. I dug it. I love it. Every time I watch it, it's just, it's such a nightmarish film. It feels like a fucking genuine nightmare that you're watching. And that's such a great quality about it. I can look past the very, very non-sensical plot and lack thereof. So, any other fans of Fulci? I definitely want to cover more of his films. And man, thank you to Ed for I can't get over the arm shit. I keep putting it up because I find it so fucking funny. But thank you for this, man. It's so cool. I appreciate the gifts. I do so very much. And I need to get to sleep, guys. So it's been a long night. I did over a 3-hour podcast. Me and my co-host even got into a fight on the damn thing. So I'm a little burnt. I worked all damn day. I drove for 3 hours. I had to do yeah, you don't want to hear my bitching. Anyway, guys, good night. See ya soon.